Where I come from, all anyone ever talks about is how crazy places like Borzubo are. And everyone tells you the first moment you walk in there, you're gonna see something you've never seen before. That's what everyone said. Who doesn't want to see something they've never seen? Today on the Comic Book Report, we will be reviewing Phenomena, Book 1, The Golden City of Eyes, and Book 2, Matilde's Quest. Stick around and check it out. Greetings everyone, my name is Dominic and today you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And today I've got a special twofer for all of you. We're going to be reviewing the first two books of Phenomena. Book 2, Matilde's Quest, is releasing everywhere today, April 23rd. And before we jump into the review, I do want to thank the publisher Abrams Publishing, Abrams ComicArts, for sending these two review copies. I know I had a blast reading something a little bit out of my wheelhouse or maybe genre preference, but again, a ton of fun here. And for all of you guys watching in the first week of this video's release, we will be doing a giveaway for these two books, so stay tuned all the way through the video because I will announce giveaway rules somewhere in the video. Okay, let's get started. First, some quick facts about today's collections. These graphic novels were written by Brian Michael Bendis and illustrated by André Lima Araújo. These graphic novels were published by Abrams ComicArts in 2022 and 2024 respectively. This review will cover Phenomena, The Golden City of Eyes, and Phenomena, Matilde's Quest. These standard-size hardcover editions have glossy print paper stock, glued binding, and are both a total of 144 pages each. At this time, I'd like to give a general spoiler warning. I will be flipping through the contents of today's collections and commenting on plot points throughout. You've been advised. Okay, first we're going to go ahead and review Book 1, Phenomena, The Golden City of Eyes. As you can see, this is a standard size hardcover edition. Really love it. The design work is absolutely beautiful. Now the covers are in color, but if you didn't catch it at those early images, the actual works themselves are in black and white throughout. To me, a comic like this, it reminds me a bit of Japanese manga, which is pretty fun, but I personally love the black and white. I think that there's incredible detail and shadow work because of the way they chose to approach this medium, particularly with the black and white. But the design of the dust jacket is really lovely. You get a kind of glimpse of what the artwork looks like throughout this volume, again, just with color. I really like it too, and as you'll see when I have these both compared, the dust jacket designs have a uniformity that I really enjoy. Showing the back of that dust jacket, we have some blurbs about the release and just more showcasing of that artwork. I will spend a minute opening up this dust jacket so you can see everything at a glance. It is kind of a wraparound cover and it's just brilliant. Whoever designed the dust jacket, I think, did a great job of selling this property. Like I said, other than the color versus black and white on the interiors, I think that this is all really stellar. Now, as discussed, I will show that dust jacket one more time, this time including the interior flaps so you can see everything at a glance. As I mentioned, it is a wraparound cover, other than the spine, which is kind of a solid color. You get a really great image here when you spread it all out. Really like seeing this. You know, the interior flaps have kind of some product information, kind of description, synopsis of the book, and the back flap has kind of about the creators. Really standard fare here, but I like it. As far as the under the dust jacket artwork that's printed on the hardback book itself, it's kind of a reproduction of the art that we have on the dust jacket, just in a nice black and white without really any of the words or anything like that. I thought this was a nice sleek touch as well, and you get to see the black and white there. I honestly thought that that was really well designed. And now I wanted to spend a few seconds showing the binding for this book. Like I said, I think it's a glued binding here. I didn't really have any problems with the binding whatsoever. Like I said, it's 144 pages per book, broken into 4 chapters per book. Like I said, it's more of a graphic novel feel. They never release these as individual issues as far as I'm aware, but it all is held together rather nicely. I didn't really have any problem with gutter loss or things like that. Okay, and now with the format and exteriors out of the way, we can jump into the book proper. We have some beautiful end pages that kind of have a map, and then we dive right into Phenomena Book 1. We have kind of a table of contents kind of thing here, and then we jump right in. So as I mentioned, there are 4 chapters per book, and it's basically telling this amazing young adult fantasy series. I'll say right from the jump, young adult as a kind of genre or subsect of fiction literature or comics is not really a space I delve into often. I do have my exceptions. I do like fantasy as a genre, but even that is a newer kind of realm for me, so to speak. But I was intrigued by the approach here in Phenomena. I will admit, one of the things that incentivized this as a read for me when the publishers went ahead and reached out was I am a huge fan of Brian Michael Bendis. The artist I'm not familiar with, but I know he's gone on and done other indie properties that are quite prolific. And honestly, I love the whole look of this book, and I'm a huge Bendis fan. I heard that they were releasing this book too, and I was just curious what we were going to see here. This is a planned 3-arc kind of book here. There is a 3rd book that will conclude the storyline. So even though these 2 books each have their own kind of storyline, there is one overarching narrative that is supposed to conclude sometime in the future. But this first volume here, The Golden City of Eyes, introduces us to the primary protagonists or main characters of the series. We have the young Bolden, who is sort of this young man who's kind of traveling, mysterious background, has kind of a flair for life, zeal, a lot of exuberance. Then we have Spike, who's this kind of creature, warrior, monk-like race or something. They're really kind of revered by a lot of the general public in this world. And he's just a really fascinating character that gets bound with Bolden and the third party in our trio, which is Matilde. She has all of this kind of fun science fiction tech, a kind of interesting mask, kind of a jetpack, things like that. We don't really know a ton about her either. The 2 initial characters, Bolden and Spike, meet at this kind of large bazaar. We have Bolden telling the story to kind of barter for a piece of fruit that is reminiscent of something like a pomegranate. And as an audience member, we're kind of in medias res. We're just jumping right into the middle, and we don't really know what's going on. But there's a lot of just interesting alien-looking races. We have some humanoid-looking people as well. I think largely the world feels reminiscent of Earth, but just adding a really huge science fiction and fantasy sect to it. You know, there's like weird fantastical creatures or giant animals, some alien looking environments and technologies and aspects to them, and it's just a really kind of surreal space that these creators have made here. Like I said, the black and white is absolutely jaw-dropping, and the attention to detail in the artwork, it's just really reminiscent of a lot of European comics or even a creator like Mobius. I think that there's a lot of homage visually to that kind of style. I just think it's beautiful. I think the design work and the pencil work is really fantastic. The character models are all really fun. There's kind of an animated feel to it. Like I said, there are elements of this that remind me a lot of manga as well, but that's a really good thing. You know, there's a really good sense of motion we get in this comic as well. I think Bendis's writing, it's definitely character-centric, which I really appreciated it. They really helped move the narrative along, but it doesn't hold your hand either. We have a lot of quick dialogue and scene change, and you're kind of just along for the ride. I think that even though there are central questions as you enter this series, I think the book does a good job of keeping you on task. It's really about these characters. This first one is really about helping to recover the Cyper Spike's missing like sword or dagger. It's stolen by Matilde early in the story arc, and we have Spike and Bolden kind of unite and trying to basically fall after this girl, and they're all kind of traveling. We get this feeling that they're going to try to hit this place known as the Golden City of Eyes. And as we go, there is this central kind of mystery of where did these 3 characters come from, what is their backstory, and where are they really going? We feel like they're all kind of at a crossroads in their lives. They're trying to deal with past traumas or things that haunt them. And overall, as an audience, we're also asking the question, what is going on with this world, and why is it called Phenomena? What happened here? Well, as we go in the pages, things unfold, and we kind of realize that this is not the way the world always was. In fact, there was a phenomena or an incident or something happened that shifted the world forever. In fact, as we go, this audience member began to realize that this world is actually our world, our Earth, and it's become this kind of fantasy science fiction scape because of what happened, this phenomena. And I really, really like that. I really like that this is somehow Earth, and you're trying to play the guessing game as to what happened. what happened to culture, what happened to humanity, what happened that introduced all these alien just creatures, environments, things like that to this world. I really enjoyed that. We do have a handful of kind of villainous characters that rise up against our main trio, and everything kind of culminates in the climax in the titular City of Eyes, the Golden City of Eyes, rather. It's been taken over by kind of these bandits, or these kind of bad guys, and we have the Cyper and these two trying to stop them, and there's kind of this heroic turn, and we have them celebrated as heroes largely, and it leaves us right at this bridge and kind of going into, hey, we have to go with Matilde now. They've all befriended each other. The guy got his dagger back. And we find out that we're going to follow Matilde next, and we have to go into her backstory. What is she about? What happens when she's going home? Anyway, obviously I've left a lot out of this book as well. I'm hoping you will read and enjoy for yourself, especially if the art looks interesting or you generally like this genre. I will say this book had a really pretty satisfying story arc that I think overall wrapped up nicely, if not a bit too abruptly for my taste. And we have a nice bridge into the overarching story arc that continues with book 2. Now, before we go into book 2, I just wanted to announce that giveaway. Like I said, this is only applicable for the first week this video is live. I'm dropping this video the morning of Tuesday, April 23rd, and you will have until the end of day, so midnight Pacific Standard Time on April 30th to have your answers in here for the giveaway. We will be giving away both book 1 and 2 of Phenomena, so that's really exciting. This giveaway is only open to US residents only. We're only shipping to the United States for this giveaway. I'm sorry for all of you international watchers. Thank you so much for still supporting the channel. But yes, this giveaway is just for US winners only. To enter the giveaway, what I'm going to have you do is in the comments for this video, go ahead and post who is your favorite comic book character and give me a brief sentence or two as to why. You can write a bit more than that if you want, but I want to hear who is your favorite comic book character of all time and why. I will be selecting the giveaway winner after April 30th, and I'm going to be choosing it personally after reading the comments. My favorite comment is going to be the winner as long as you live in the US. I didn't want to do a random comment generator kind of winner because I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit more of a personal touch, and I just really want to hear what people think about their favorite comic characters. Anyway, that is the giveaway. I will announce on Wednesday, May 1st. I'll try to do either a short or a reel somewhere. I'll let you know how you can claim if you're the winner. I'll probably comment on the winning, comment that, hey, you are the winner or something like that as well. Okay, and with that, we're going to jump into Book 2, Phenomena. This is Matilde's Quest, and this is releasing at the time of this video drop, which is April 23rd. Again, I was so thankful for Abrams for sending over this advanced review copy. It was really fun to read Book 1 and then go immediately into this Book 2. I definitely had a good kind of conservation of momentum here. I was really excited to learn more about Matilde and continue these adventures. As you can see, the design of the dust jacket, we do favor a different color. Instead of a purple, this one favors kind of an orange yellow warmer color, but the formatting is all identical to the book 1. They look fantastic on the bookshelf together, and we also have another huge kind of scenic vista here showcased in the dust jacket. Really beautiful stuff. Once again, the image on the dust jacket is more or less a wraparound cover here, and it is in color, unlike the rest of the book, which will be, of course, in black and white, like book 1. This is really fun. Like I said, I love the uniformity we have between book 1 and 2. It really makes me think this publisher knows what they're doing. They're marketing this book well. Right away, when I saw these books, I'm like, wow, these actually look really fantastic. I think they were all printed well. Mine had no issues whatsoever. Like with book 1, I do want to spend one final minute looking at this dust jacket properly. We'll get to see the interior flaps again, see it all spread out so you can get it all at a glance. And after that, we're going to be looking at the hardback book itself. Like book 1, we have the dust jacket image basically reprinted onto the hardback, this time with no color, no lettering or wording other than the spine. And like I said, you just get a great feel for this kind of cinematic wraparound looking cover. I'll go ahead and spread open that hardback book for you like I've been describing, and like I said, you can see it all at a glance. This penciler is just so prolific. Like I said, I love the just incredible detail work we have here. Just look at all of the just different facets of the city it depicts. It's really wonderful, and I love that this is stamped right on the book itself. And now, once again, a quick look at that glued binding. Just like the book 1, no issues from me, no complaints. I think it all opened up quite nicely, held together nicely, no real gutter loss or anything like that for this graphic novel collection. Again, a really good job, Abrams ComicArts. Okay, now that we've examined the exteriors and kind of the build of the book, we can go ahead and dive in. We're treated once again to some beautiful end pages, title page, chapter breakdown, things like that, and then we jump right in. So this is another 4-chaptered book. This is a graphic novel. They did not release these as issues, but again, just these books, and it's great. It's fantastic. I love that we continue basically right where we left off. Like I said, this book really centralizes on Matilde. We go back to her hometown, we meet her brother, and we meet kind of these bigger people groups or tribal kind of communities, cities, and we were kind of invited into a greater sort of geopolitical world. We get to see kind of a war going on. Like the first book, we really follow Bolden, Spike, and of course Matilde, and it's really fun. I really like what we did in this volume. We had them traveling by boat, we have her traveling by jetpack, we get to see a lot more cool locations. They are renowned as almost like heroes in certain communities after the events of the Golden City of Eyes, so that's also a really fun wrinkle as well. I think with this book we get to go deeper into the world of phenomena. We get more inklings as to what maybe happened or what the world was like before. There's a whole sequence maybe toward the end of this book where Matilde kind of flies into enemy territory and tries to broker peace on behalf of her brother and her people, and we are really introduced to these kind of these groups of like wizards or something like that. We're shown a underground bunker that has all these artifacts from the world before, and lo and behold, it's things that we can really recognize, like the shuttle and just different technologies that are really reminiscent of 20th and 21st century Earth. So again, the fascination is growing as to what caused the phenomena. We still really don't know. We also have another Cyper in this group, like Spike, in this book, that really has ties to his past. We get a little more backstory about that race of characters and kind of what the Cypers stand for. We know that Spike has a lot of past trauma that he's not really dealing with. He doesn't want the other Cyper to talk about him or use his real name, which is kind of revealed throughout this as well. It's just really fascinating. Bolden is given a kind of techno lizard thing that he can communicate with. We find out that he has kind of these tech abilities that's really kind of fun. This bio synthesis that he can do with some of the technologies over in this city. And Bolden is, again, just kind of this zealous, fun, youthful character, but he definitely gets some more dimensionality in this work as well. I think this trio is really fun. It's definitely an ensemble cast of characters here. And I saw when reviewing this book that some people likened it like, okay, fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender will surely like this series. And I do get that as a review. I think that this is in a similar genre, or at least will hit some of the same demographic. It does lean a little bit more into the science fiction aspect of it all. There is kind of a punk feel to it too that I think I like it, and it sets it apart a bit. Again, I'm maybe not 100% the target audience for this. I think if I found this maybe as a younger teenager, I would have loved it even more. But as a grown man here who just had an opportunity to read this by one of his favorite writers, and it got, I got turned on to a brand new penciler I had never heard of, who I just loved throughout the pages of this, I still had a blast reading through this book. And honestly, after reading these first two, I'll definitely keep an eye out for book 3 that wraps up this whole adventure. I can't wait to finally learn more about what the phenomena is really about. But I did like the book 2. I think that in the same way book 1 introduced us to this world, I like that this really deepened the mythos. We were given some new locales. We got to go deeper with some of our favorite characters here. And at this point, I think that you have a well-established dynamic. I love that we focused on Matilde. There's aspects of this too that make it feel like a traditional trilogy, like that 3-act structure, and yet we're given a full story in this book itself, like with book 1. I think my only criticism really for this series so far is I think that the resolution in book 1 and in book 2 were wrapped up maybe a little too swiftly. These are both 4-chaptered books each. I would have loved a 5th chapter that teased out that final climax and kind of falling action of the story structure, because I just think it all wrapped up really quickly both times for me. I think the kind of hero saving the day in book 1, and then what happens in book 2 where they kind of save the day again. I just think things ended quickly and a little too cleanly for me. I would have liked to see just that broadened a little bit, but I still really liked it. The action sequences are just fantastic. I think that there is a very cinematic quality to how a lot of the artwork is framed or revealed throughout these books. I think that this would make a fantastic animated series or even a live action like film series potentially, because I think the characters are really enjoyable, and the how do I say this? Like, everything about the visuals, the settings, all feels so specific that I think it just lends itself to more mediums, should it ever get adapted. But it's still magnificent on the page here. I really had fun with Phenomena Book 1 and 2. I think one of the enjoyable pieces about reading Book 1 and 2 back to back is this feeling of I went and finished book 1 feeling like Spike, for example, was my favorite character, but after finishing Matilde's quest, I kind of feel like Matilde's my favorite character. The resolution as well, in the same way book 1 bridged into book 2, book 2 seems to be bridging into book 3, and it seems to suggest that we're going to be following Bolden's character as he has a huge revelation that he is somehow linked to the phenomena, and I can't wait to see how that resolves. I think in this way we might be following more that character in book 3, and I wonder if I'll finish this whole series feeling like Bolden's my favorite character. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm still guessing as to what that's going to look like when it's going to be announced or released, but I'm very excited. Like I said, after reading this, I think it's a lot of fun, and I think if you're looking for a comic book that is closer to all age friendly, this is not a bad way to go. There are some great action sequences, but it's not overly violent or graphic in any way across the board. No strong language or anything too polarizing, I think, for many people. I just think that this is a really accessible, fun series. Like I said, if you know what genre you're getting into, again, the predominantly young adult fantasy sci-fi space. Okay, and we're about done with our review of book 1 and 2 of Phenomena. Please, if you're watching this in the first week, do not forget to enter our giveaway if you live in the United States. And now all that's left to do is to give a grade for these collections. For a very fun, character-driven, young adult fantasy science fiction series with just jaw-droppingly detailed artwork that is just cinematic and wonderful, the Comic Book Report is happy to give Phenomena, The Golden City of Eyes, and Phenomena, Matilde's Quest a B. I really do think that this is an above-average read and is highly enjoyable. I can't wait to resolve the whole storyline when I read Book 3 sometime upon release of that title. While young adult might not be a genre for everyone, I do think that this was a really fun adventure series, and if you're fans of that subsect of fiction, this might be right up your alley. Again, a huge thank you to Abrams ComicArts and Abrams Publishings for sending these books. I hope so many more of you check them out, and until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Please don't forget to give this video a like, comment, and maybe check out one of my other videos. Thanks, and have a good one.